Here at the Authentic, we talk often about Meghan Markle and Donald Trump in the same post, juxtaposing them, two sides of the same coin, one on the left and one on the right of the political spectrum, but essentially the same. Two narcissists, each wantonly pursuing his or her own agenda without regard for the chaos they create or the damage they leave in their wakes. We have, in past posts, however, taken some pains to acknowledge that certainly Trump is more dangerous than Markle. Perhaps this assessment of danger is limited by our national sympathies and perspective. We are Americans here, and Donald Trump is trying his best to topple the American democratic system, and Meghan Markle is trying to topple only the British royal family. What is the loss of a few fusty, diamond-studded kings and queens compared to fomenting civil war on this side of the pond anyway? Then we came across an article in The Hill, a nonpartisan newspaper for and about Congress, titled "A Montecito Yankee in King Charles's Court." Published in December 2023, the article was written by Mark Toth, an economist, and retired Colonel Jonathan Sweet, who served 30 years as a military intelligence officer. Let me quote: "Evidently, finding freedom was not nearly liberating enough for the self-exiled Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Nor was dropping a bomb during their interview with Oprah Winfrey when Meghan implied that a then unnamed member of the British royal family was racist for having concerns over her son Archie's skin color, an accusation from which Harry subsequently backed down, but only long after the damage had been done. Harry now maintains there was only unconscious bias against Archie. Recollections really do vary. But now, directly or indirectly, in connivance with self-appointed royal expert Omid Scobie, the Montecito duo has apparently gone into full guillotine mode from a reputational standpoint. They are now seeking an endgame to the House of Windsor. It is as if Harry and Meghan are producing their own Hollywood version of Survivor Buckingham Palace. It might make for amusing scuttlebutt and binge-watching were it not for the existential national security threats confronting both the U.S. and its closest strategic ally. In terms that Mark Twain could best understand, the last thing the British monarch needs now is a Montecito Yankee in King Charles's court. Harry and Meghan, alongside Scobie, are failing to read both the room and the world right now. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping are conducting an ideological global war against the West. That dystopian World War III is already kinetic in Ukraine and the Middle East, and its expansion toward Taiwan and the Indo-Pacific looms. Now is hardly the time for Hollywood-level narcissism, and certainly not of the type graphically on display in Spare and Scobie's two books, not when the geopolitical stakes and security interests are this high. King Charles finds himself at an inflection point. The danger to the kingdom is coming from Holland, specifically a game-altering Dutch translation of Scobie's Endgame, revealing, according to Piers Morgan, Charles and Catherine, Princess of Wales, as the purported royal racists referred to during the Winfrey primetime CBS interview. In Twain's classic 1889 novel, A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, Harry Morgan, the American protagonist who has traveled back in time, quickly gains the trust of the mythical English king. In real life, however, Harry and his wife Meghan have repeatedly proven themselves unworthy of King Charles's trust. Instead of burnishing Camelot, the Montecito pair appear hell-bent on burning it down. The Tower of London is no longer an option for King Charles. Even if it were, the presence of the crown jewels might prove too tempting, turning Harry and Meghan into modern-day Jacobites. Still, other options exist to resolve the ongoing trouble with Harry and Meghan, including stripping the prodigal son of his titles and formal constitutional ties to the British royal family. Harry, of course, will always be King Charles's son, but the Duke of Sussex is no longer sufficiently trustworthy to be in the line of succession, especially when he, Meghan, and others like Scobie acting directly or indirectly on their behalf are crassly undermining the sovereign on the world stage at every turn. Charles's visit to the United Arab Emirates, which began on Thursday, is illustrative of the havoc that Harry and Meghan continue to create. The sovereign's appearance at the COP28 summit on climate change centered around environmental issues that Charles has championed since his earliest days when he was the Prince of Wales. Endgame, with its pernicious revelations, especially in the Dutch version now pulled off the bookshelves, is gravely undermining the very heart of Charles's reign. It is also weakening Charles where he and the royal family are needed most, the 56-member Commonwealth of Nations. The Commonwealth is actively under economic and military assault by Russia and China in Africa, the Caribbean, and the Indo-Pacific. This absurd and needless drama is not about Team Sussex or Team Wales. It is about what is best for Team UK, and that means sidelining Harry and Meghan and their implied accusations of racism in the royal family, which are recklessly and foolishly giving Moscow and Beijing currency through the Commonwealth. Harry has had ample opportunities to put king and country first, choices one would think to be easy given that his father is king. Instead, he and Meghan have repeatedly put both last. They subjected even the late Queen Elizabeth II, to say nothing of the UK and its citizens, to an unending cascade of childish soap operas. First came Finding Freedom, then came Oprah, then Netflix, and then Spare. The UK was then subjected to Harry and Meghan's coronation drama, and now Scobie's dubious ode to the narcissistic Montecito couple. It is not just the UK's present that is being wantonly assaulted by Scobie and company. It is also the kingdom's future, given the attack on Prince William and his wife. Fortunately for the House of Windsor, Scobie's concocted characterizations of both fail to meet the eye test. Both William and Catherine have performed admirably in public and in support of King Charles. Even so, Scobie's malign words will undoubtedly soon appear in Russia and Chinese disinformation campaigns across the Commonwealth. Enough is enough. It is time for King Charles to implement a decisive endgame for Harry and Meghan, and to remove the recalcitrant Yankees' constitutional royal titles. If they need to visit the United Kingdom in the future, book them an Airbnb. Whitehall ought to put the national security interest of the UK first, and relegate the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to the ash heap of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Let me just add to Mr. Toth's and Colonel Sweet's sharp observations that the Markle assault on the Commonwealth of Nations continued most recently in their appearance in Jamaica. I've linked the excellent Toth-Sweet article about that below too. Perhaps it has become time to stop giving Harry and Meghan a pass as merely good gossip fodder. Normality, civility, national sovereignty, global stability are being sacrificed by stupid, self-serving personalities on both the left and the right, and perhaps it's time to face the reality that even when we vote Trump out of office for the second time this coming November, neither Trump nor the Markles are likely to go away quietly. We're going to need to sharpen our wits against power-seeking narcissists on both sides, and stay on guard for some time to come. If you like what we're doing here at The Authentic, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment, which makes the algorithm very happy. Thank you for watching.